Welcome to the Carriker Chronicles, the People Show. Checking the Pulse of Rescue Nation, brought to you by XCancer. Check them out at XCancer.com. Today's show topic is, will Nebraska be better after the bye week? Will they not be better? Will they be the same? Will it be a small improvement? What can we expect to see? Now, do me a favor, before we dive into this video, give this show a like if you think Nebraska will be improved after this bye week. All right. Now, my answer, I'm just going to be upfront and honest because that's who I am. That's how I was raised. It's how I roll. Let's light this candle. I have no freaking clue. No freaking clue. I want to be optimistic. If I were watching this video, I'd love to be the guy that hits that like button. And I'm not telling you not to, because every time you do it, it helps this show. It helps me. It helps get the word out, and I appreciate that. So maybe if you just want to support this show, hit that like button. I don't know what I would do. It's just like every Thursday when I bring my kids on and I'm trying to do a prediction show and I'm trying to predict a score. I don't know. 75% of the time, we're more talented than our opponent, and I'm going to dive into that in a minute. But who knows what's going to happen, okay? So here's my thoughts, because I've seen three outcomes throughout my life, my career, my experience with football after bye weeks. Number one, no, teams are not better. Number two, yes, they are better, but it doesn't last long. They get excited, they get rejuvenated, yada, yada, yada. It lasts a couple weeks, and then it goes back to what they were before. Number three, every once in a while, a team is legit better after a bye week. They get healthy if they were beat up. They get mentally refreshed. They can work on basics and fundamentals like Mickey Joseph has talked about. They're going to do Nebraska versus Nebraska this week during their bye week to just get better at football as a team. Coaches, especially new coaches, can get on the same page scheme-wise. They can look at, hey, this didn't work. This could work. Let's try this. And sometimes it does happen, okay? So what do I think is going to dictate whether it works or not? To me, because I've already said I don't know, it's going to come down to plain and simple attitude, and do they want it or not? Now, an individual that sends me emails from time to time, and he coached football for a long time, he sent me this, okay, and I thought I would read it. He said, I am not asking our players and coaches to work this damn hard. And in parentheses, it says, and yes, I did things like this when I was in the USMC. It was freaking hard, a lot harder than football. I did both, in parentheses. But they need to stop feeling sorry for themselves and take advantage of the opportunity they have right now. And then he says, feel free to share this with players and coaches that you know. So I took it as okay to share it on this show, the Mr. Bud Pettigrew. Now, okay. I don't know that there's players in that locker room feeling sorry for themselves. The odds are the odds are that there probably are. I mean, they lost their head coach. If you're a defensive player, you lost your defensive coordinator. There's a lot going on, a lot of new, a lot of different. It's not been a great season. He makes a great point. If you're feeling sorry for yourself, I understand they're human beings, but get over it. I mean, you're getting a scholarship, NIL money now to play here. And if you're not getting those things, you're trying to earn it. Trying to do your damnedest to earn it, okay? So here's the deal, and that's much easier said than done. I fully well respect that, but here's the deal. You watch the Oklahoma game, and initially I hadn't watched it yet, the Sunday after the Oklahoma game, because we played Saturday, had a bunch of kids' events, and I wake up Sunday morning, I get a text from an individual that I text from time to time every so often. We hadn't spoken in a while. He's a black shirt grade. If I said his name, everyone would know who he is. I haven't asked if I could share his name, so I don't know, maybe I can, maybe I can't, but out of respect, I'm not going to because I haven't asked. The text, we hadn't texted in a while, and it legit, it just came out of nowhere. It goes, did you see 9,000 loaves? And I'm like, what? It's like out of nowhere. I'm like, he's talking about bread? How much bread does he want? And then it hits me. Loaves. A loaf is when you're not playing hard on defense. A loaf is when you're not giving good effort. If you get a loaf after the game on your grade that you receive from the coach and you receive a bunch of loaves, that's bad. Basically being lazy is what it means. And so that was the text that I got from him. Now, I'm not the first one to bring this up. I'm not the first one to say it. I've watched other Husker greats talk about it, defensive players, national championship winning players, guys who played in the NFL. Okay, so I'm not the first one to talk about this. It's not the first time I've talked about this. I talked about it on my Carriker Live last Sunday night as well. But, you watch the film and you watch, we got veterans out there not going as hard as they can. You got captains doing the same thing. Watch the 61-yard touchdown run that Dylan Gabriel had in the first quarter for the OU quarterback. And it's funny because the announcer at one point goes, a burst of speed. And I was like, really? He looks like he's waiting to be tackled, and it just never happens because we're not flying to the ball. We're not running hard. We're not giving everything we've got, not even close. And here's the deal. They're human beings. They're kids. They're young men. I don't really give a crap. Like, play football. But here's the deal. If you had a tie to Chenander or Frost and you're really bothered by everything that's going on, and you had no tie to Nebraska before this, and you're struggling to find a reason to get motivated to play football, first of all, it's football. Number two, I had a coach that was so unmotivating, he was demotivating. And I legit, true story, told my wife, my girlfriend Angie at the time, I said, I got to find reasons to motivate myself because this guy's killing my love of football. If that's what you got to do, then do it. But here's the other thing. And I'm not saying these coaches are doing that, to be clear. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying if that's where you're a player and you're in that mindset right now, do what you got to do. Also, if you have any ambition of playing in the NFL, your film, what you do every Saturday, your film is your resume. Okay? That is what NFL coaches are going to grade you on. Are we going to draft you? Are we not going to draft you? How much money are we going to pay you if we do draft you? How much money are we not going to pay you? Are we going to sign you as an unrestricted as an unsigned free agent? Are we going to pass on you? Your resume is your film, and the eye in the sky don't lie. Now, here's the deal. That's what I think is going to dictate whether we're better after the bye week or not, is the attitude and do they want to or not. So there's something, and I think 90% of people understand what I mean when I say we're more talented than 75% of the teams we play, because if you know how to use Google, it shows that. If you look at the recruiting rankings, the transfer portal rankings, you look at all this stuff, and I've never been a guy that's been big on rankings. I've gotten in arguments with people about it. I've always said, I don't care who you are when you walk through the door, it's what you do once you're in the building. But you look at who's in the college football playoff every year, Alabama, Georgia, Clemson, et cetera, they get a lot of talented players. So here's the deal. You'll look at 24/7 Sports coming into the 2022 season. They ranked the most talented teams in the Big Ten 1 through 14. Number 1 was Ohio State, shocker. Michigan, Penn State, Nebraska was 4th. Okay, the highest ranked team when it came to talent, this is about overall talent on the roster, the highest ranked team talent-wise in the entire Big Ten West. Okay, in fact, if you add up Iowa and Wisconsin, so it lists 4- and 5-star recruits specifically, we have 23 combined. Iowa and Wisconsin combined have 27. Combined, they have 27. Us by ourselves, we have 23. Northwestern has 8. Okay, so we have almost 3 times as many as Northwestern. Now, the one thing I will give you, because I hear people talk about a lot of players have left. Yeah, no crap. And you're right. I got this stat as well. And this stat is Big Ten seniors on the roster that have not transferred in. In other words, they came in and they've stuck all the way through. Of the 14 teams in the Big Ten, we're dead last. Okay. At the top is Michigan. They have 19. Minnesota has 18. Then you got Iowa, Ohio State, Indiana, Purdue. On down the list, on Nebraska's last. We have 3. Okay, Minnesota has 18 seniors on their roster that have not transferred in. That is 6 times as many as us. So I could give you that. We've had a lot of guys leave. My response is twofold. Number 1, why have they left? Number 2, I go back to the initial rankings. It wasn't this year's recruiting class or last year's recruiting class. This 24/7 Sports recruiting ranking, there's a bunch out there, looks at the overall talent of the roster as it is right now, and we're still 4th and number 1 in the Big Ten West. Now, here's the deal. We also, at the quarterback position, we had the guy who led the Big 12 in touchdowns, a year ago, Casey Thompson with a broken thumb. We have the number 1 junior college player in America, and Anthony Grant at running back. We had the number 1 junior college receiver in the country commit to us, and Omar Manning, a few years ago, and I know there's been a lot going on with him. I get that. But he's on the roster. You look at the transfer portal, we had the number 1 pass rusher in the country when he commit to us, and O'Shawn Mathis, and I can keep going on and on and on. You look at our offensive line, because I'll hear a lot of people say, oh man, it's mostly skill positions, Adam. Well, you're right. There's been too much emphasis on the skill positions and not enough emphasis on the trenches where games are won and lost. But even there, we had, when you look at the initial starting lineup we had coming into this season on the starting offensive line, the front 5, we had 3 4-star guys up there. 3 4-star guys. Let me remind you, on our offensive line, we had 3 4-stars starting at the beginning of the year. Northwestern has 8 4-stars on their entire roster. All right. Do me a favor. Let me know. Will Nebraska be better after the bye? Will they not be better after the bye? Let me know why. Also, I want to give a shout out. Each year, nearly 5,000 kids are diagnosed with brain cancer. Of those children, 30% will not survive. I'm asking you to tune into the 10th annual Team Jack Foundation Radioathon presented by the Home Agency on September 29th. Become a champion for a cure for just $20 a month. Visit teamjackfoundation.org to learn more. Thank you for helping us fight for a cure. Now, I'm very passionate about Team Jack. Support them. Support the Radioathon. Also, the Sam Foltz Foundation is getting going. I'll probably talk about them more in the future. I have a big heart for trying to help people because that's ultimately what matters in this world. I am going to jump back to football real quick because I am passionate about it. Let me know, because if somebody has stats and info that I've overlooked or I've missed, I've spent a lot of time researching, send it to me. My mind can be changed. I'm an open book. I'm stubborn as hell, but I'll listen to you, and then maybe my mind can get changed. Let me know. Am I on the right track? Do you agree with me? Do you not? But present proof, facts, and evidence. Don't just present an opinion and say you're right because you said it out loud. Think you're right, you said it out loud. Let me know your thoughts, your opinions, and send me some info. Help me out. This show is brought to you by XCancer. Join the fight at XCancerStore.com and support your loved ones, your neighbors, and cancer fighters all over the world and help them gain access to revolutionary treatments. XCancerStore.com has a wide variety of t-shirts and merchandise supporting a wide variety of cancer battles so you can show off the colors that matter. Proceeds from each purchase not only help those at home, but also cancer fighters in Tanzania, Africa. Check them out at XCancerStore.com.